There was a green anorak in the water. When prodded, it stirred, turned a slow half-circle, and sank from view. The boys fished at it with their poles until it floated up to the surface again, then recoiled in horror when they saw what lay beneath. The three friends lived on Kvasalete, in the residential blocks lined up along busy Miklaprut, all the way down to the expanse of waste ground known as Kringlumeri. To the north, the waste ground was overgrown with nettles and angelica. To the south lay a large area of open diggings, deep gashes in the earth, where the inhabitants of Reykjavik had excavated peat by the ton to heat their houses during the First World War, when fuel was in short supply. They had drained and laid tracks across the marshy ground before embarking on the largest-scale peat extraction in the history of the city. Hundreds of men had been employed in cutting, drying, and transporting it to the city in wagons. After the war, when imports of coal and oil resumed, the abandoned workings gradually filled with brown groundwater and remained like that for many years. Later, in the 50s and 60s, when the city expanded to the east and new suburbs rose on Kvasaleti and Storagerði, the area became a playground for the local children who built rafts to sail in the largest ponds and wore cycle tracks up and down the various hills and mounds. When the temperature dropped in winter, the icy pools came into their own as skating rinks. The three boys had knocked up a new raft, using offcuts of timber from a nearby building site. It consisted of 2 sturdy crossbars, some sheets of polystyrene, and a serviceable platform made of planks from a concrete mold. They propelled it with long poles, which they inserted into the murky water and used to push off from the bottom, since the pool wasn't very deep. Although they wore rubber boots and did their best to keep dry, it was not uncommon for kids to fall in. Then they would return home with their knees trembling from the cold and at the thought of yet another telling off, or worse, for turning up like drowned rats again.